Hi everyone, welcome back. It's so good to have you back. I hope you've all had a really great practicum experience and have thoroughly enjoyed being out. I expect that many of you, though not all, will have been with infants and toddlers on this last practicum. I hope that you really enjoyed that opportunity to be with our youngest tamariki. I hope that some of the content of this course started to come to life for you, started to make more sense, started to connect the dots. I'd actually love to hear about it. So if you did do an infant and toddler practicum and things started to come together for you, I'd love to have an email or a call with you just to talk about that experience and what it meant to you. I certainly really enjoyed the visits that I made over this last practicum, and I just saw some wonderful examples of people working in responsive, sensitive, reciprocal, attachment-based ways with infants and toddlers, and it was just a delight, absolute delight to see. So what are we looking at as we head very, very quickly towards the end of this course? This week, the content is focused on working in partnership with families in order to provide equitable and effective education for children. Sometimes we talk about partnership being on the relational space, and that's really important. It connects to well-being and belonging for children, their families, and for us as teachers. But there is also a connection that has to be made between partnership and children's learning. And the way I connect it, particularly in the area of infants and toddlers, is when we work in partnership with families, when we work so closely with families, that is then we can be most attuned, sensitive and responsive to the children that we're working with. And if we've talked about anything during this course, it's that pedagogy of reciprocal responsive caregiving and how that's at the heart of all that we do. So if we work so closely with families and parents, that we know the child deeply well, that they share their information with us and we share our information with them, then that child's experience has to be so much more tailored to them, has to be so much more responsive and attuned to them because we know them deeply with all the information that we have. So I guess that's the message I really want you to take away from this week's content, particularly for infants and toddlers, why it's more than just relational. It goes to the very heart of the learning experience for the child. It goes to the very heart of what we're able to provide for the child when we work in partnership. It goes to the very heart of the concept of mana, this idea of respect and upholding the child and their family in very meaningful and authentic ways. I hope that's what you take out of today's session, this week's session. The other part of this session is the fact that in order to do that, we have to be responsive to every family that we work with. And to do so, that means we have to be culturally addressing cultural responsiveness. We also have to be thinking about inclusion for children who have additional needs. We have to be thinking about who are our priority learners, and then how are we targeting so that we make sure that our partnerships are the best that they can be so that we can do the best we can do in those situations. So I encourage you to really engage with the readings we have this week. I find them really powerful. I think I've talked about them laying down a widow, a challenge, and I really believe that. I think that they're saying to us as teachers that we can do better in the space of partnership and we must do better in terms of supporting children and their families. So lots to kind of think about. But hopefully it'll make a lot of sense coming out of a practicum and having been thinking about all that you saw in that space. Wish you all the best for the busyness of this coming week. As other lecturers will have told you, this is a little bit of a crunch time, we acknowledge that. So know that we're here for support. We're always at the end of the email or the phone, and we're wishing you all the very best as you tackle these final challenges for the semester. Kia kaha, everybody, and I wish you all the very best.